Hey everybody, this is Dr. Kadisha, your board certified emergency medicine physician, and with my best-selling book, Mini Mobile MD Kit, and the great comprehensive first aid kit, the Mobile MD Kit, I help people feel better, be safer, and better prepared for emergent medical situations. And you know why? Because now more than ever, we need to stay out of the ER unless we absolutely need to be there. And now more than ever, that old saying means even more. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So while we let some folks come into the room, I'll just get situated a little bit. Those who come on in, thank you, welcome. Make yourself known in the comments, and please hit like and share. Hit share, 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 because you know what? Another cold front is coming into Houston tonight. Other areas around the country already have ice and snow on the ground, and the ERs aren't any emptier than they were last week. Yes, I've heard talk about the COVID cases going down in numbers, but the ERs and the hospitals are still very much busy, still very much working at high capacity. And why not let safety save you some time, save you some money, spare you some pain, and spare you the expense of an ER visit and possibly specialist follow-up after some kind of injury, and, you know, God forbid, some kind of fracture. Now, you know, everyone's looking at Texas right now. You know, I'm in Houston, Texas, but every year in multiple other states, people are still driving unsuccessfully in icy conditions. Last year in January, I was working in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and my first day working at the hospital, I saw multiple fractures because it was an icy day. It was about 18 degrees. And I saw ankle fractures, wrist fractures, finger fractures. I saw all kinds of fractures. So I know folks are laughing at Texas, and you know, I don't take it personally. I'm from DC. I lived in Pittsburgh. I lived in Philadelphia, Baltimore. You know, and now I've lived here. You know, hey, you know, being able to handle or not being able to handle a winter weather emergency, it is what it is. Hey, Dr. Dietrich, thank you so much for coming in. What's the weather like in Pecos, Texas? What's the situation with the ice? What's the situation with your power and your water? Do let us know. Put it in the comments. And yeah, guys, I see more people coming in the room. Thank you so much. Do hit me up in the comments. Let's get the discussion going. So, all right. So Dr. Dietrich says we're coming along, getting better. And yes, thankfully, you know, with each passing day, things are getting better here in Houston. Things are getting back to normal. The last I checked, the temperature here was about 54 degrees. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Hey, Hard Dad, thank you so much for coming in. Please let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods out there in Louisiana. Do let us know what the weather situation is there. And guys, yeah, I would love to hear what you guys are experiencing, where you live, and what you've heard. I know, you know, starting sometime last week, maybe it was Thursday, you know, starting with that awful 100-car pileup in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know, a number of people passed away. I think there were 6 fatalities there, multiple people injured. You know, lots of time, expense, pain, ER visits were generated out of that accident. You know, a great inconvenience at best. Why not try to prevent that by driving a bit safer on the ice? And that's what I want to do for you guys. I want to help you guys stay out of the ER, save you time, money, energy, pain, things like that, with this ounce of prevention, with this bit of information. And I want you to, let me see, I got a free ebook for you. It's a winter safety ebook. And all you have to do is go to mywintersafety.com. That's www.mywintersafety.com. Okay, and let me just say this here. Okay. All right. So I can remind you guys what you can get for free, this ebook that I've been working on all week with my team. And we'll just have this going. Okay, so everyone was talking about the Dallas pileup, but there was a 24 vehicle pileup in Austin. There were multiple accidents, in Kentucky, other places. Our mayor reported that there were over 200 accidents in one night in the Houston area. And, and it's not just the roads that you have to worry about. You have to worry about downed power lines. You have to worry about tree limbs and things like that. So, a number of things can get in the way of you having a safe trip. But the first thing you can do, so let me at least start to get to the tips. The first thing to do is try to stay home if you possibly can. This is why the news reporters and the city officials are saying stay home. So Hardette says we're good. Water's at a trickle, but slowly coming back. We hope. There's not a lot of melting yet. So that sounds like the ice is still out there. It's still an issue. We do have power. Thank God. Yes, thank God for power. I am more grateful than ever now for warmth and water and light. I mean, I was always grateful for it, but even more so now. So the first thing we can do, try to stay home, just to avoid the road altogether, because it's not just how you're driving on the road that can be an issue. It's how others are driving on the road. That can be an issue as well. You have to remember, we have to drive for ourselves and others. People are still doing wild things on the highways. They are still missing exits and crossing, 3 and 4 lanes of traffic, cutting you off just to get to a ramp. Even now, I was coming back from the grocery store and someone did that to me, I think I was coming on 288 North, and someone was about to go on 59 North and realized that they were trying to get to 45 North and cut all the way from the right lane in front of me to the left lane as things were already starting to split up. That's the kind of thing that you have to think about when you want to chance it and get on the icy roads. I think temperatures are supposed to drop again tonight. Anywhere that's wet, it's going to be icy tonight. Anything that's wet is going to be icy tonight. So Hardette says slick parking lots and sidewalks if you do get to the store. Yes, indeed. That's another thing. Say you make it to the grocery store or whatever, and you still slip in the parking lot or on the sidewalk. So there's still the walking involved if you're trying to run errands. And if you watch my Facebook Live from yesterday, where I was talking about walking safety, I mentioned how I had seen more fractures in one day than I had since working in Williamsport, Pennsylvania back in January of 2020. So it's no joke. That's right. So thank you, Hardette, for mentioning that. Yeah, even if you get to your destination safely, you still risk, hurting yourself walking into the store. And I know someone who dislocated a shoulder slipping on ice, going to the grocery store one winter. So, guys, yeah, definitely join me. Get that free ebook. We talk about walking safety, driving safety, and what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, which is warming safety. A number of people have experienced carbon monoxide poisoning. People have died in fires because they are not warming their homes safely at this time. So, and I see other folks have joined this Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining. Definitely make yourself known in the comments. So, all right. So the first thing I said is stay home. If you can't stay home, you got to get out there. And say you are starting to feel a slide. Okay. So if your rear tire slide, okay, take your foot off the accelerator. Don't feel like you can just speed through the slide. Steer in the direction that you want the front wheels to go. This is if your rear tires are sliding. Steer in the direction that you want the front tires to go. If your rear wheels start to slide in the other direction, ease the steering wheel in the same direction as those rear wheels, and just repeat gently until your vehicle is under control. I know that's it might be hard to remember. That's why I had to make sure I had notes so that I tell you the right information, and you can get this information in that ebook at mywintersafety.com. So that's if your rear wheels slide. So take your foot off the accelerator, don't hit the brake, steer in the direction that you want the front wheels to go. And if your rear wheels start to slide in the other direction, ease the steering wheel in the same direction as those wheels, and repeat that gently until the car is under control. Okay. Now, if your front tires start to slide, take your foot off the gas. Take your foot off the gas, shift to neutral. I know this is a lot. That's why it's in that ebook. Shift to neutral. And as you start to feel traction returning, steer in the direction you want the car to move. Put the vehicle in drive and gently accelerate. Okay, so that's if your front tires slide. Okay. Hey, Marlene, thank you so much for joining me. Yes, and definitely hit share. So that's right. Marlene says definitely share this information with others, because the life that you save could be your own or that of a loved one. The more of us out here who know what to do during these icy situations, if we start to experience an icy slide, the more of us knows how to handle it, the better. Okay, so that we just talked about icy slides. So say you still slid somehow, some way, and you are stuck. Okay, say you ended up in a ditch or something like that. So you got stuck. What's the next thing that you do? You turn your wheels from side to side to push the snow away from your tires. So turn your wheels from side to side. Second, if it's at all safe for you, get out and clear the snow away from the wheels and the underside of the car. 3, ease your car out with gentle acceleration. And why do I say gentle? It's because you don't want to start spinning your tires. Because once you start spinning your tires, you're going nowhere fast, just going nowhere. So so slow is better when driving in the snow. Snow is better when driving on ice, because it increases stability, because you have more traction. So do not be don't be lulled into a false sense of security during these conditions when you see other people speeding by you. Do not assume that it is safe just because someone else is speeding down the road. I think that's another mistake that we make in driving in icy conditions. We see someone else just barreling down the road, and we're like, oh, well, they're going fast. Maybe it is safe. So, hey there, Victoria. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you. I think all the medical moguls appreciate Victoria. Thank you so much for coming in. Again, definitely hit share, guys. So that's what happens if you get stuck. Now, I know back when I was living in Philadelphia and DC and things like that, if you were parked on the street, or if you're parked on the street somewhere and a snowplow would come by and create a snowbank, which is like an accumulation or like a little wall of snow that makes up against your car, making it hard for you to get out of a space. That reminded me of how I used to get out of a parking space. So it just kind of rock back and forth, put it in forward, gently accelerate a little bit, put it in reverse, gently accelerate a little bit, and, just keep doing it, and then start turning my steering wheel, towards the left while doing that to get out of the space. Now, if you guys have other things that you guys would do, definitely put that in the chat. Again, like I always said, it's a discussion. Any tips that you guys have are very much appreciated. So, all right. So say, you're out there, you've made it out of that ditch, and you're just continuing on, and you start to go over a bridge. Well, remember, bridges and overpasses and vacant roads freeze first. Like they were saying today in the Houston news that snow plows or different trucks were adding brine to the roads to help melt the ice. Well, since not a lot of people were on the roads, that brine and ice solution was freezing right back up. It was turning right back into ice because the roads were more vacant. So that's why vacant roads are dangerous in themselves. So again, it always goes back to just staying home. So bridges and overpasses and vacant roads freeze first. And Houston has some of the highest overpasses in Texas. For some of you guys who are watching, you might know that, say if you're coming from the Galleria and people and guys, folks in other cities, just think of some high overpasses in your own city. Let me know in the comments if you care to. But Houston has an inner loop and an outer loop, not like DC where it literally is one beltway, and they call the inner loop one side of the beltway and the outer loop the other side. In Houston, they have a true inner loop, which is 610, and then miles outside of that is Highway 8, and then a number of these other highways connect those two loops: Route 59, Route 45, Route 288. They connect these two highways. Well, 610 South, that leaves the Galleria area, has a new overpass that allows you to get on 59 North, headed towards downtown Houston. That overpass is 80 feet high, 80 feet high. And it's curving and it's curving and it's curving. Okay. So again, another reason to stay home. Imagine being on that overpass, and it's not a quick one, like it's a slow progression. It could freeze before the roads actually freeze. Okay. That's 80 feet high. There are other ramps, say another relatively new ramp here in the Houston area is the ramps that go from 288 on to Beltway 8, which is the outer loop. Those things, they go way up in the sky and then they fan out. And I think those are about 92 feet tall. Then there's another highway that goes towards the northwest of the area. It's called 290 that starts at 610, not too far from that 610 59 ramp I was telling you about. A few exits up, this highway 290 takes you to the northwest part of town. You get on 290, and again, you want to get on or off Beltway 8. Majorly high elevations for what could be a frozen on or off ramp. And I think those could be maybe 100 feet tall. I believe that that the ramps for those could be about 103 to 112 feet tall. So please, just remember the overpasses, bridges, those things can freeze first. And like Victoria says, you want to avoid driving near the edge of the roads as possible to avoid those ditches. And, you want to avoid those high looping ramps or ramps in your area, because you can start to, you could start to slide out towards the barrier. And, you better hope that barrier holds your car in place. You just better hope that you are stopped. So, and if conditions are wet, you're like, oh, it's not that icy, it's only wet out there. Those ramps could be icy already. The road that you could have been driving on could have just been wet and slushy. But any ramp that you take, any bridge that you go over, that could already be icy before temperatures drop below freezing. Now, if you see snow plows, great. That's such a blessing to see snow plows, because they're spreading that rock salt or dirt, to increase traction on the road. Okay, well, give them their respect. Respect the snow plows. Don't pass them. They're the drivers of the snow plows have limited visibility. So, and the road in front of the plow might be worse than it is behind them. So, why go, and pass the snow plow onto road that's more treacherous than the road behind them? Let them do their work and take advantage of the cleared out road, the increased traction that the snow plows allow. And this is another reason why you have to give yourself, if you must leave home, give yourself more time to get to your destination. And this is one reason why. Because you want to, you don't want to be passing up these snow plows. Another reason why you have to give yourself time to get to your destination is that you need space. And a rule of thumb is to for every 10 miles that you're traveling, allow 3 car lengths between your vehicle and the car in front of you. So if the speed limit is 30, you should try to be 9 car lengths behind the car in front of you, because that car could spin out. You might be, driving perfectly fine. You might be an ace at, driving during these conditions, but the person in front of you might not be, or they might be driving on bald tires. Say you did check your tires, or, you did get your snow tires, you did get your car winterized, but you're driving, behind a hoopty on bald tires, and they start to spin out. You need that extra space to come to a safe stop so that you don't collide with that car. Braking. And when you do brake gently, not suddenly, because your wheels could start to slide. If you have standard brakes, those brakes lock. So you just pump your brakes gently. If you have anti-lock brakes, apply steady pressure. So if you have standard brakes, like I'm sure a lot of folks in Texas do, pump your brakes gently. Don't slam on the brakes, because your brakes will lock, your tires could start to slide, and things could happen for you like they did in the Dallas-Fort Worth 100-car pileup last week. So standard brakes, pump your brakes gently. If you have anti-lock brakes, apply steady pressure to your brakes. Okay, so hopefully these tips were helpful with you. And yet, for you, yes, and black ice is very deceptive, very dangerous because you might not absolutely see it. Not all ice on the roads, and this is for folks who are new to icy roads, not all ice is going to be white. It's not going to be so obvious that the ice is present. It might just be like a slight glaze to the road that that is fixed. It's not looking so mobile like just water would. It's like a fixed glossy or glazed area on the road. It could be any color. It might be the color of the road, or it might be black ice. And because a lot of the dirt, the oil, exhaust from other cars can turn ice into black ice that you might not see. And the sun is going down, temperatures are going down, you are more likely to have ice developing as time goes by, and you're not going to see it anyway. So it's dark, and you're not going to see that ice. So definitely, please take heed of these tips. Stay home if you can. If you have to venture out, just another thing is check the TransStar app. If you are in Texas, get the TransStar app here. So I'll just type it into the comments here. Take out your phones. Maybe, I don't know if it's just in Texas. If you are in other states, see what traffic monitoring system is available to you in your state, and download that app to your phone. Again, in Texas, it is the TransStar app. That'll tell you about incidents going on on particular roadways. It'll tell you about traffic. Even when this ordeal is over, it'll still tell you about backups and things like that. So it's really good to have. So I'll just put that in the chat. Okay, so get the TransStar app so that you can know better about what's going on the different roadways in the Texas area. So again, so tomorrow we're going to talk about is winter warming safety. Winter warming safety. We're going to talk about, chimneys and fireplaces and gas appliances and carbon monoxide and things like that, because I'm sure that you've heard, and it's not just Texas, it's everywhere. Everywhere they get snow, you are going to hear about accidents, carbon monoxide poisoning, and you may hear about some fires during which there are fatalities. And we've had a number of fatalities happen due to fires this week in Houston. We had one incident where a grandmother and 3 children died. There was another fire where, an elderly man was found also. So we're going to talk about those things. And again, please get this free ebook, and, share this information. Get your free ebook at mywintersafety.com. That's mywintersafety. And tomorrow we will be talking about warming safety. Okay, and hopefully, Hardet, you'll be able to join me tomorrow to talk to give your advice or tips or your experiences with these stoves, or stories that you've heard of people using stoves. I know a number of people are using gas appliances to stay warm, and you just have to be careful with that. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Do join me tomorrow. Let me know in the comments of other topics that you would like discussed. And Again, I'm Dr. Kadisha, your board certified emergency medicine physician. My best-selling book, Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room, when an ER doctor would tell you if she only had the time, and my comprehensive first aid kit, the mobile MD kit, which is something you should have in your car, especially should you have an injury. Um, have a first aid kit in your car. Have a first aid kit in your car, because a lot of people, they hurt their wrists, they hurt their ankles. You might have scrapes. You might have, some injuries that might cause bleeding. The mobile MD kit will help you address those things and more while you get help. I've got ice packs in there. I've got wrist splints, ACE wraps, antibiotic ointment. I even have a material in there that will help with bleeding that just won't stop. I've got all kinds of things in that. And for more information, go to themobilemdkit.com. Get that first aid kit, the only first aid kit you will ever need, because between that and these tips, this might actually help you stay out of the ER. I'm trying to tell you, the hospitals are full. If you become injured and you're not at a hospital that can handle your injuries or your illness, you could be transferred to a place that is far from home. You could be transferred to a hospital that is hours away from your home because the hospitals in your immediate area are full. We've had to do that. We've had to transfer patients from Houston to Brownsville, which is hours away. We've had to transfer patients from Houston to Denton, which is a suburb of Dallas. So that's about maybe about 5 hours away. So, definitely, I'm just asking, common sense isn't that common. The safety mindset is not always so common either. So I'm just trying to reinforce that with you, so that you can avoid the pain, the inconvenience, the expense, and the frustration of being in the emergency department, especially now during the pandemic, during cold and flu season, when the hospitals are full. But hey, if you end up needing the ER, that's why I wrote the book, Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room. That will help you reduce some of that frustration and maybe even save you some time and money off your ER bill. So again, I'm Dr. Kadisha. Definitely, follow me on Facebook if you're not already. Hit replay if you're watching this after the live that's ending. And follow me on Instagram. It's the same thing, Dr.Kadisha_MD. And I will see you tomorrow as we discuss winter warming safety. Thank you so much for joining me. And you guys have a great night. Have a safe night. Be safe and be successful. Bye.